Hi, it's Joanna, creator of the Teacher Wellness Code, and today I wanted to share with you my own story of burnout. So it happened, I think, around in the year 2004. I had been teaching for about 4 or 5 years, and I was one of those all-in teachers, all into everything. I was involved in everything. I loved what I did. I was always like the last car in the parking lot. I thought that was a good thing. Didn't realize at the time that that's really not a good thing. And I loved it. Until I realized that I was spending too many times not just being the last car in the parking lot, but also being the person who's crying in their car in the parking lot. And that's when I realized this is not feeling very good. But every year that would happen around the end of the year, and then you would have the summer, and the summer would be rejuvenating, relaxing. And even if you did like some courses or whatnot or preparation for the next year, it was still like a nice time to relax. And then September would roll around and you'd be all energized, and I would get right back into it. And then by May, June, I'd be upset in my car again. And so this cycle continued year after year after year. And finally, it became to the point that I was like, I actually can't go back into the classroom because this is really unhealthy, and I can't do it. So I did what any person should do in that situation. I got a therapist, and I started to work with this person to start to heal what was going on inside of me. So I went to talk to the EAP counselor that the district had, and I wanted to talk about what were my options for time off. And she looks at me and she says, I can't ask you how old you are, but you look like you're about the age where most women your age would already have had at least one maternity leave, and that probably would help you feel less stressed. I was like, what? What? I thought of the exact same thing you're probably thinking. Like, what kind of advice is that? Having a baby is not a solution for burnout. That piece of advice was completely inappropriate. So like I said, luckily I had a therapist, because I didn't throw me into the deep end after being given advice like that. And I left that office and I got into my car and I sat down and I thought, I cannot stay in this profession if this is the kind of advice I'm going to be getting. And I decided at that moment that I was going to be, I would resign. I decided, what will I do in my time off now that I've resigned? So I decided that I was going to travel because it was something I enjoy doing and I wanted to see more of the world. So that's what I did. I got rid of everything I owned. I got rid of all my furniture, my apartment. I gave my car away. I gave my clothes away, and I packed up a backpack and went traveling. I did that for a year, and then I decided it was time to get back to real life, and I moved to Vancouver. I'm originally from Toronto, and then I moved to Vancouver, the beautiful city of Vancouver, British Columbia, and I got a teaching job, and I started teaching again, and it was great. It was really good. And I was doing some teacher wellness workshops at different teacher conferences and things like that. And as it turned out, Vancouver was beautiful, but it rains a lot, and I just could not handle the rain anymore. So I decided I'm moving back to Toronto. I ended up at U of T doing my master's in teacher development, and then I was very fortunate that I got to teach a class for the pre-service teachers and preventing teacher burnout, and it was really great. So here I am, and that is how I got here. Burnout is soul rebellion. That's all it is. It's your soul saying, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm done. I am not going to go down this path any further because this is abusive to myself, and I'm not going to have it. And I call it soul rebellion because it's like your soul realizes, I've been made to fit into this blueprint that is not serving me in any way, shape, or form. Because if it was, you wouldn't be miserable and burning out. And so dealing with burnout is really about honoring the soul's call for healing and for wellness, and switching that teacher blueprint into something that is actually reflective of a healthy soul purpose and expression. And let's face it, we start out, when we start teaching, nobody starts out a burned out teacher. Right? You start out enthusiastic, happy, excited, and somehow as you get enculturated in that culture of teaching, almost everybody ends up burned out. And it doesn't matter where you're teaching. You can be teaching in North America, you can be teaching in South America, you can be teaching in Africa and Asia and Europe. Studies show that across the board, teacher burnout is epidemic. And when you start to look at it as I looked at it in my research when I was doing my master's, you see that everything that you're taught about how to be a good teacher is everything any good therapist would tell you not to do if you want to have a happy, healthy, productive life where you don't get completely stressed out. And that's why I say don't have any burnout shame, because if you've burned out, it means you've exited the matrix. Basically, you understand that this is not healthy. Now, you may not have the entire path on how to heal, on what to uncover, how to heal. I mean, that can be done, but the first step is you have to be able to get out of the matrix. So if you've burned out, congratulations, like you're already well on your way to recovering from that.